This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Monday, December 18th, 2006, and this is episode number 193 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm Matt Hochberg from MGMstudios.org. On the show today is Mike Newell of MouseWorldRadio.com. Welcome, Mike.
MousePlanetRadio.com.
World.
It's that whole galaxy thing, planet, world, same difference. What's up, Mike?
How are you, Matt?
Outstanding. And we also have Mike Scopa of MousePlanet.com. Welcome, Mike.
The centerpiece of Rocket Tower Plaza is the League of Planets Astro Obelisk. The symbol of interplanetary friendship provides all beings with an exhilarating sense of unity.
That's the voice on TTA, right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
What was the clap for?
Because he got it right. He knew I was from Mouse Planet and not Mouse World Radio.
I thought it was part of the quote.
That's what I thought.
Touringplans.com or MGMstudios.org.
Just
Speaking of shameless plugs, we have Len Testa of the Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. Welcome, Len.
how's it going, Matt?
Outstanding.
Thank you. Thank you all.
On today's show, we're talking about our 3 wishes for Walt Disney World. If we could all get something from Santa Claus for Walt Disney World, we've got 3 wishes for it. This would be it. So every year we kind of take a look back and see what we think Disney World needs, what we think it needs, what we'd like to see there. And let's start off with Mr. No. Why don't you give us your first one?
Well, if Santa Claus was coming here, or there with my name on it, I would love to have the Carousel of Progress overdone and for it to stay. And by that I mean have it all be overhauled and enough so that it can operate, not just open seasonally.
Interesting.
I'm talking about new sets, new seats, new carpeting, the whole 9 yards. I think that attraction should stay. I think it should. It's one of the few things that Walt actually worked on for the World's Fair in '64 here in New York, and I think it should stay. I think it's very overlooked.
I like
It's
it.
interesting. Oh, yeah. Good idea. My first idea was to put something, maybe this year it'll be the year, put something in the ABC Theater and the studios, please. Anything. I don't care. I don't care how shameless of a plug it is. Just put something in there.
How about
Would you be a High School Musical? Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, I don't care. Anything. You could put Len Sings.
Len
Put it in
sings.
there.
Like America Sings. Len Sings.
Len Sings. It'll compete with Epcot. Len Sings. Speaking of Len, what would you put? What's your first wish?
Well, actually, I have 3. My 3 wishes are for the 3 major December holidays: Christmas, Hanukkah, and Kwanzaa. So my Christmas wish this year is for a super deluxe resort somewhere on Magic and the Walt Disney World property. And I say this because during Mouse Fest, I got to visit a couple of really nice upscale resorts: the Ritz-Carlton in Orlando and the Gaylord Palms, and I got to say that they are fabulous. And compared to Disney's flagship resort, which is the Grand Floridian, I don't think there's really any comparison. You can get the Ritz-Carlton for about $150 a night less than the Grand Floridian, and it's a far, far better resort. So I'd like to see Disney hopefully recognize that that the competition is increasing and perhaps build the answer or their answer back to all of these Orlando resorts in Walt Disney World.
they're that nice, Len?
Yeah, the Ritz-Carlton is very, very nice. The Gaylord Palms is very nice. The rooms are very extremely well appointed. They're as large or larger than the Ritz-Carlton. The amenities are fabulous. The grounds are immaculate, and it's less expensive than the Grand Floridian.
Mike Scopa, what have you got?
My first wish, Matt, is a combination. I would like to see an end to the staggered operating hours in Epcot. I'd like to see both Future World and World Showcase open and close at the same time. The only time I get to go into World Showcase in the early morning is when I'm running a race down there. I'd like to. I really think that it would help a lot to alleviate some of the queues that occur during the first hour in the Future World attractions. I think it would work out well. I like the idea of possibly having some breakfasts offered over at the World Showcase restaurants, not just at the.
Nothing says breakfast like cold herring.
Exactly. Now, a combination with that is I would like to see a
Canadian bacon. Go ahead.
Canadian
Sorry.
Oh God.
I'd like to see a parade back at World Showcase. I think that it's a perfect. It's a perfect roundabout. I tell you, I think that it really it's a perfect place for a parade, and so remove the staggered hours and let's bring a parade back to World Showcase.
Hey, Newell, turn off that really bad music
I'm
in the background. That's a really great idea, Mike. I think we would all agree on that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Moving on to our second wish. So this is something that that I saw after Mousefest again. I think someone else saw something during Mousefest, and that's one of their wishes. And mine is better Walt Disney World transportation in terms of
I almost said that.
more frequent buses. I mean, I used to be a fan of the bus system, and then and just now in Mousefest, I swear I must have ran into every single possible worst case scenario for buses.
Wow.
Just like always missing the bus, always getting there, and the line is empty, and you're waiting 20 minutes for the bus.
Yeah.
And it's just, ugh. I mean, they just need to run it more frequently. They've got the buses, I know they do, so it's not like they have to go invest, billions of dollars in a new fleet or something. But I just think that they, if they could cut the wait times in half, that would do wonders for just happiness. Just being able to not have to worry about, the worst thing is when you leave the park, like, oh, God, you have in the back of your mind, all right, how am I going to get to point B, from here?
Not
And
bad.
it's always although I think until I see these changes reflected in the unofficial guide, I think I'll be going the Len method of renting a car.
Right there, exactly.
Hey, speaking of buses, any of you guys remember those buses they had a few years back that were like trailers?
Yeah, they were trying the two. It's like a bus pulled by another bus.
No, it was a bus pulled by like a truck trailer.
Oh no, I saw they were called articulated buses. They
Let's see if
were
I can find
like
a
a bus.
picture.
Yeah, okay.
It almost looked like a horse trailer. You know how like a horse trailer looks, where the driver was in the front, like driving a truck, and then the trailer part was the bus. I can see if I can find a picture. I had a picture of it once before. It was because they used to run them over to music and movies when they first opened.
Mr. Newell, why don't you entertain us with your second wish?
Well, I'm not going to go too far from Carousel of Progress. I would love to see, and I love the way Space Mountain is now. But I think out of all the 4 or 5 parks there are, I think the Walt Disney World Space Mountain is the one that needs the most, needs the most help.
Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff that they can do that's like
Yeah, I mean,
relatively inexpensive. Yeah,
a sound system, perhaps some new effects. I'm not talking about changing the track, so to speak, but I mean, as far as the cars go and the effects go, I think it needs a little help.
One thing that they did in Disneyland that I thought was really cool is as you're going through like some of the turns, even some of the slow motion stuff, they blow compressed air towards you, so it makes you feel like you're going faster because you got this wind whipping by your face at like 40 miles an hour, but you're going like 10.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's a cheap effect.
I would love that. Yeah.
In the dark, you don't know how fast you're going.
No,
in the
you're
dark,
right.
in space, no one can hear you scream. In the dark, you don't know how fast you're going, so it's
Yeah, they could do so much.
yeah.
Even like you said, a couple of cheap lighting effects and
Yeah.
some sound. It would really.
You know what you should do, Newell? This is your project assigned by me.
Okay.
You gotta figure out a good soundtrack that you could bring with an iPod, and bring your own. Put it on there.
That would be awesome. That
would be awesome. You bring your iPod and be like, "Would you like a Len soundtrack? Would you be
Exactly.
Van Halen,
Fire something up.
And then or if I get it like perfect it, and then we could we'll all ride it with like our own music iPods on. It'll be really.
That's actually a great idea. I like that idea.
There you go. Something for you to think about. Let's move on to Mr. Scopa.
Okay, another combination. This has to deal with access to the parks. I always get stuck behind someone in a car who needs change at the toll plazas for all the theme parks. So what I would like to see would be a few of the toll areas at the toll plazas have dedicated transponder kind of things where you have that we have these we have something called Easy Pass up here in New Hampshire, where we just put
Oh,
this
yeah,
thing
yeah.
on our. So I think that would be nice if we're given that option as a resort guest. I don't know if they would be able to make enough for every resort guest, but I wouldn't mind paying an extra couple dollars to put that on my windshield so that I could go right through the toll plazas without have to stop, and that would get me to the parks much quicker to spend my money, which I'm sure Disney would like. Now, along those same lines, I would like to see turnstiles dedicated to just annual pass holders, because usually the annual pass holders know what they're doing with the biometrics. And one more thing, I think all annual pass holders should be allowed access to the parks 1 hour ahead of the general public every day of the week, regardless of the park.
Ooh, that's not a bad
Wow.
idea. Even if it's half an hour. I mean, geez, everyone's there already.
And the thing is that I'll probably get email on this. Sometimes I've written columns on annual pass holder perks I'd like to see, and I keep once in a while I will receive a message saying, gee, annual pass holders are like spoiled brats or whatever. Well, I'm putting my money down ahead of time, so why not give me some perks? So that's my second wish, Matt.
Yeah, that's a great one. I like the. I guess going back to your Easy Pass idea, which was your initial idea, I believe.
Right.
That's a great idea. That could be something that I think they could easily do, and that would make things just a little bit easier. And you know what? That's what Disney World is about. Everything's just a little bit easier over there. Because
You could call it a fast pass. You could call it the fast pass.
Yeah,
fast
right.
pass for getting into the parks.
The annual pass perk's always a good idea. Not just because I'm one. I think it just makes sense to reward it rewards the current fast annual pass holders, and it probably encourages more people to the people that are still on the fence about it, who think they can slide by with Magic Your Way tickets. Maybe they make the jump because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Len, what did you got?
Okay, my second, and this is my Hanukkah wish. It's a
Oh, I didn't know
We got a Festus one coming up.
Festivus. Remember, it begins with Festivus begins with the airing of
the
grievances.
grievances.
Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. No, my
Okay.
Hanukkah wish for this season is you guys might like this: a sit-down restaurant in Frontierland with a steak theme. Because nothing says Frontierland like cattle. And we need it. I mean, the Magic Kingdom, lacks a serious sit-down restaurant. And I think
I was going to say any sit-down restaurant is a good idea.
We turned Pecos Bills into a. I mean, Pecos Bills is big enough that you could take that part by between Adventureland and on the Adventureland side of Pecos Bills, you could take that and make that a nice sit-down place, because that's little used. That's a little used area. So nice flame broiled steak. Nice sit-down place right there, kind of quiet, out of the way. They could use some of the seating from Pirate and the Parrot if they had to.
Well,
Throw a Scopa special in there.
If they ever do that, Len, it would have to be from your idea, so we'd have to have a Testa special in there.
Yeah, maybe so.
I think it's a great
Maybe so.
idea. I think any idea that brings another full service restaurant into the Magic Kingdom is a great idea. I mean, I don't know who needs it more, the Magic Kingdom or Animal Kingdom, in terms of who needs the sit down restaurant.
What's the Animal Kingdom?
Well, the Animal Kingdom is getting one, though. I mean, we know that it is, right?
Yeah.
It's getting Dinner Mongolia, so
Yeah, affectionately known as Dinner Mongolia.
exactly.
I believe we're up to our third. We'll go back to Mr. Newell.
Well, you hit on what I was my third is I would love to see some sort of rewards program for frequent guests. In town, there's a pizzeria. You buy 10 pies, they give you a coupon for every pie. You buy 10 of them, they give you one free.
Really?
Yeah. And that's just to keep people going back. And Disney, I know they don't have to do it because we all end up going back anyway, but
Yeah.
it would be nice. I mean, they took away the Disney Club or whatever that thing was. They took that away from us. They should give something to the frequent people, the frequent guests that come over and over and over.
It's funny. I have a pizza place in Greensboro called Mario's Pizza, and they make fantastic pizza. It's good enough that I actually bought a Mario's Pizza T-shirt. and today I went to get pizza from them, and they gave me 10% off because I wore the shirt.
Yeah. That's awesome.
You guys are awesome.
They appreciate that, though. you know?
Exactly.
Scoba?
You want me to comment on Mike's? Or do you want to?
I was looking for yours, but hey, it's a free podcast.
Oh
Come
no,
on,
I
sorry.
agree with Mike. I think that well, if anyone would agree with Mike, it would be me going down as frequently as I do. You know, they
They
should
owe
be
you so much.
if anything, offering maybe 10% off your room rate for every 10 visits within so many years or something like that. You know, anything to reward those of us who are dedicated consumers. You know, who actually are repeat visitors. I think it's a great idea. For my last wish, okay, I have a couple here. I think I'm gonna go with something that I've always considered to be the predecessor for wishes, and that is Sorcery in the Sky. I would like to see them bring back Sorcery in the Sky, and I would like to see them either offer it on alternate nights at the studios, or maybe even offer it on the same nights as Fantasmic, but somehow stagger the two performances. I think that would be a little too much. So I think offering it maybe 3 times a week would be kind of nice. I always considered Sorcery in the Sky to be the predecessor for Wishes, because it was through Sorcery in the Sky that we started seeing the low light pyrotechnics and the coordination with the music. So I'd like to see that.
I like that idea a lot. I think I like the idea better by having, Fantasmic earlier in the night, have whatever time, the 6, 7 o'clock show, depending on the time of year, and then having Sorcerer in the Sky be the finale. So you would have 2 fireworks shows. I think that would be something different.
Yep.
I think that's a great idea. I like that a lot. One?
For my third wish, my Kwanzaa wish this year, it would be for a new club at Pleasure Island. I mean, Benny's the time when I want to kick back with a nice 40-ounce.
Oh no.
It sort of relax my day away in the VIP room where I can see you, but you can't see me. And there's just no place to do that. There's just no place to do that in Pleasure Island. It's just not. There's just no club that I would feel comfortable going to right there, other than Raglan Road, which isn't really a club. I'd like to see, something for us, the kids, the hip younger generation, to have something to do. Where you can, you would see Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan hanging out, and they would feel comfortable coming in there.
Oh my god.
Hanging out.
Yeah, literally.
Glad you didn't say Britney Spears and hanging out in the same
Hanging out,
sentence.
yeah, exactly. But you know what I'm saying.
My idea, my last wish, let's expand the boardwalk, because you've got some dead areas of the boardwalk. Once you get past Big River Grill, you've got obviously the room for Jelly Rolls and Atlantic Dance Hall, but it's still like dead over there. It's not like there's from the right. It depends how you're looking at it, but from Big River Grill to ESPN, that's a good section. I mean, that is basically the boardwalk area. But I mean, there's lots to do. But when you get beyond ESPN or Big River, depending which end you're going on, there's just nothing there. I mean, you got that dead area on Big River where there's the Swan Dolphin,
Right.
And then past Epcot, you've just got potential to do more with that. And you could put more shops, put another restaurant in there, just put more stuff. I think they could easily expand the boardwalk area, keeping that whole theme going. I think that'd be a great idea.
We were there last week at around the time the space shuttle took off. It was a Saturday night, right at that very spot, and there was nobody there. It was us and maybe another couple watching the space shuttle, but that part, like you said, was dead. There was nothing going on.
You mean
over there.
near the Atlantic Dance Hall, Mike?
Right between Atlantic Dance Hall and
Oh yeah,
World. Because we were coming from the Swan to see because we were going to karaoke night, but we stopped there and there's nobody over there. It was totally dead.
Really?
Yeah, it's sad. But you're right. If there was another anchor club or an anchor restaurant or something on that end,
Club. Some place for us kids to go. us hep cats. Where we can
Nice
just,
one.
be ourselves.
Well, that's it for us today. You gotta find older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments. Visit the Walt Disney World Today website at wdwtoday.com. You can also email us at questions@wdwtoday.com. For Len Testo, Mike Scopa, and Mike Moore, I'm Matt Hodgeberg. We'll see you on the next show.